You didn't find this video found you. And it didn't happen by accident. It found you because something inside you has been shifting, quietly, steadily, for weeks, maybe even months. That restless energy that won't let you sleep. That strange feeling like your own skin doesn't quite fit anymore. That unexplainable sense that you're standing at the edge of something massive, but you just can't see it yet. Yeah, that's not anxiety. That's not fear. That's the frequency of a comeback. And if you're here right now, listening to this, at this exact moment, it means something deeper is already in motion. You're closer than you've ever been. You're not breaking down, you're breaking through. And everything you've survived up until now, it wasn't random. It was preparation. Let me show you what's really happening. You're in a chrysalis. And I know that sounds poetic, maybe even dramatic, but stay with me because this might be the most accurate way to describe where you are right now. When a caterpillar enters the chrysalis, something unbelievable happens. It doesn't just grow wings and casually transform into a butterfly. No, it completely dissolves. Its entire body breaks down into what's essentially cellular liquid. Everything that once defined it disappears. For a period of time, it's nothing. Not a caterpillar, not yet a butterfly, just in between. Now imagine asking that dissolving caterpillar how it feels. It would probably say, "I'm dying. Everything is falling apart. This is the end." But it's not the end. It's transformation. And here's the truth most people never tell you. Transformation always feels like death, before it feels like rebirth. That's where you are right now. You're not falling apart. You're dissolving, so you can rebuild into something that can finally fly. And I get it. I know how this feels. Waking up every morning wondering, is today the day things finally click? Fighting the quiet urge to give up. Because it feels like you've been stuck in this in-between space forever, looking around at other people living the life you're trying to build, and questioning yourself. What do they have that I don't? But here's what you're not seeing. They had their chrysalis phase too. They stood exactly where you are right now, feeling the same confusion, the same doubt, the same silent battle. The only difference? Timing. They're on the other side of it. And you're in the middle of it. But being in the middle doesn't mean you're stuck. It means you're exactly where you need to be. Here's something nobody tells you about comebacks. They don't announce themselves. They don't arrive with noise or celebration. They show up quietly, disguised as ordinary days that feel anything but ordinary. They arrive in that strange space where your old life feels too small, but your new life hasn't fully formed yet. And they always require you to let go of something you thought you needed. Think about the last few months of your life. Be honest. Haven't things felt different? Relationships that once felt right now feel draining. Goals that used to excite you now feel empty. Places that once felt like home now feel like cages. That's not a breakdown. That's clearance. Life is making space. Your system is upgrading. And upgrades? They require deleting old programs. The discomfort you're feeling isn't a sign something is wrong. It's proof that something is working. You're outgrowing your old life in real time. And growth like that, it's not supposed to feel comfortable because comfort doesn't expand you. Discomfort does. Your comeback isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world convinced you to shrink, before you learned to hide your intensity, before you started apologizing for your presence, before you dimmed your light just to make others feel comfortable. What's coming next? It's going to require all of you. Every ounce of strength, every lesson, every moment you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier. Because a real comeback doesn't just change your life. It changes your relationship with yourself. And once that shifts, there's no going back. I know you've been tired, not just physically, but soul tired. The kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. That's because transformation takes energy, massive energy. You're not just changing habits, you're rewiring your mind, rebuilding your identity, becoming someone new at the deepest level. Of course you're tired, but here's the shift. That exhaustion, it's starting to evolve. You're beginning to feel something underneath it. A quieter energy, a steadier energy. Not forced, not frantic, but grounded. That's alignment. And once you tap into that, everything starts to accelerate. You may have started to notice something lately, something subtle but undeniable. You're different. Not in a loud, dramatic way, but in a quiet, internal shift that you can't ignore anymore. You're speaking up in moments where you used to stay silent. You're saying things that once felt too uncomfortable to even think about. You're walking away from situations you used to tolerate, even when it hurts. You're setting boundaries that feel unfamiliar, almost unnatural, but deep down, you know they're necessary. And maybe part of you is wondering, when did this change happen? But here's the truth. That shift you're feeling, it's not random. It's not temporary. That's your comeback in motion, not something waiting for you in the future, not something that arrives one perfect day when everything finally makes sense. It's something you're stepping into right now. You're not chasing it anymore, you're becoming it. And whether you realize it or not, people are starting to notice. Some will see your growth and celebrate it. They'll feel inspired by your courage, your clarity, your willingness to change. But others won't understand it. They might question you. They might pull away. They might even try to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. Not because you are, but because your growth forces them to face something they've been avoiding in themselves. Your evolution becomes a mirror, and not everyone is ready to look into it. But listen carefully. That is not your responsibility anymore. You are no longer here to shrink yourself just to make other people comfortable. You are no longer here to carry the weight of everyone else's expectations. You are no longer here to explain your growth to people committed to staying the same. You are here for one reason now, to honor your own evolution. And yes, let's be honest, this part can feel confusing. There will be moments where you question yourself. Am I becoming too distant? Am I changing too much? Am I losing my softness? You might even wonder, am I becoming cold? But you're not. You're not becoming cold. You're becoming whole. There's a difference, a massive difference. You're learning how to care deeply without abandoning yourself. You're learning how to love fully without overextending your energy. You're learning how to give without draining your soul in the process. You're no longer pouring from an empty cup just to keep others full. And that's not weakness. That's strength. That's growth. That's evolution in its purest form. And this is where everything begins to shift. Because the energy you once spent overthinking, overgiving, overworrying, overexplaining, that energy is no longer being wasted. It's being reclaimed. And now, it's becoming available. Available for your creativity, available for your vision, available for building something real, something aligned, something meaningful. And when that shift happens, when your energy stops leaking in every direction, life responds in ways you didn't expect. Opportunities begin to appear, almost out of nowhere. The right people start entering your life effortlessly. Ideas begin to flow, clearer than ever before. Decisions feel less forced, more natural. Clarity replaces confusion, not because you suddenly became worthy of these things, but because you finally became available to receive them. And here's the part most people won't say out loud. Your comeback is making you powerful. Not loud, not aggressive, not forceful, but quietly, undeniably, unstoppable. You're becoming someone who no longer seeks permission, someone who no longer bends just to be accepted, someone who no longer betrays themselves just to belong. You're becoming someone who can't be controlled, can't be manipulated, can't be convinced to settle for less than what they know they deserve. And that kind of power, it doesn't need to announce itself. It just exists, and it changes everything around it. So understand this deeply. Your comeback isn't something that's coming someday. It's not waiting for the right time. It's already here. That restlessness you've been feeling, that's it. That discomfort you can't explain, that's it. That quiet voice inside you saying, something is changing, that is the change. You're not standing at the beginning of transformation. You are in it. You are living it. You are becoming it. So if something in this message hit you, really hit you, not just in your mind, but in your chest, I want you to do something simple, but powerful. Pause for a moment, and then declare 4 words. My comeback is here. Not as hope, not as motivation, not as something you wish was true, but as recognition of what's already happening inside you. Because the moment you say it, out loud or even to yourself, something shifts. You stop waiting for your moment, and you step into it. And if you know someone who feels lost right now, someone quietly fighting battles they haven't told anyone about, someone stuck in that confusing, heavy, in-between phase where nothing feels certain anymore, someone who genuinely believes they're falling apart, share this with them. Not because it will instantly fix everything, but because sometimes the right reminder at the right moment can change everything inside a person. Because the truth is, most people don't need solutions. They don't need constant advice. They don't need to be fixed. What they really need is to be seen, to be understood, to be reminded of what they've forgotten in the middle of the chaos. They need to hear this clearly, deeply. You're not breaking, you're transforming, not falling apart beyond repair, not losing yourself completely, but evolving into someone stronger, wiser, more aligned than before. And you? This isn't just about what's happening around you. You're not just changing your circumstances. You're not just shifting habits or routines. You're changing your identity. You're changing how you see yourself when no one else is watching, how you speak to yourself in your quietest moments, how you carry yourself through uncertainty. You're changing how you show up, how you respond instead of react, how you exist in this world, more aware, more intentional, more real. And once that kind of change begins, there's no going back. There's no returning to the version of you who didn't know better. No shrinking yourself to fit into spaces you've already outgrown. No slipping back into patterns that your soul has already rejected. And no pretending. No pretending you don't see what you now clearly see. No pretending you don't feel what you now deeply feel. No pretending you're okay with things that no longer align with who you're becoming. Because awareness changes everything. The chrysalis is cracking, even if it's happening quietly, even if no one else notices, even if some days it feels like nothing is changing at all. Something is. The old version of you, it's dissolving. The fears, the doubts, the patterns that once defined you, they're loosening their grip, piece by piece. And yes, that part can feel uncomfortable, because there are moments where you don't fully recognize yourself anymore. You're not who you used to be, but you're not fully who you're becoming yet. And that space in between, it can feel uncertain, unstable, even a little lonely. But it's not wrong, it's necessary. Because the new version of you is forming, right now. In small, quiet ways you might not even notice yet. In the way you pause before reacting. In the way you question what you once accepted. In the way you choose growth over comfort, even when it's hard. It's all part of it. And soon, you will see it. Not all at once, not in one big moment, but in subtle shifts that suddenly feel undeniable. You'll notice how differently you think, how certain things no longer affect you the same way, how your energy feels lighter, clearer, more grounded. And one day, you'll look back at this phase, this confusion, this discomfort, this in-between space that once felt endless. And you'll understand, this wasn't the phase where everything fell apart. This was the moment everything changed. The moment you stopped just surviving and started becoming. The moment you began stepping into who you were always meant to be. The wings, they're forming. Even if you can't fully spread them yet, the transformation, it's real, even if it still feels incomplete. And very soon, you won't just believe these words, you'll live them. You'll feel it in your actions, in your decisions, in your presence. And when that happens, you won't question it anymore. You'll know that everything you went through had a purpose, that every uncomfortable moment was shaping you, that every step, no matter how uncertain, was leading you here, to this version of you, stronger, clearer, more aligned than ever before. You're not falling behind, you're not lost, you're not breaking, you're becoming. And very soon, you're not just going to understand that, you're going to rise into it, you're going to live it, you're going to fly.